Previously on Tutankhamun and Howard Carter 100 years later. The excavation begins. Some stone huts were found and removed, an entrance to a tomb discovered, and 12 steps leading down to a sealed door. This was reburied for the awaited arrival of Lord Carnarvon. Episode 2. Carnarvon arrives. 20th of November. Carnarvon has successfully arrived in Cairo, Egypt, and travels down to Luxor, the city near the Valley of the Kings, arriving on the 23rd of November. On this day, a friend of Howard Carter, Arthur Callinger, began to re-excavate the tomb entrance. 24th of November. At this point, Callinger has successfully fully excavated the whole of the staircase to the sealed door, revealing that there were 16 steps down in total, and among the seals on the door was that of Tutankhamun. It was also at this time noted that there had been 2 distinct openings made into the tomb. Someone had got in before Carter. But this was in ancient times, as the door had been repaired and resealed with the Anubis over 9 foes seal. There was also a lot of pottery and broken boxes found in the rubble of the staircase, which Carter writes, broken potsherds, broken boxes, the latter bearing the name and protocol of Akhenaten, Semenekara, and Tutankhamun, and with what was even more unsettling, a scarab of Tutankhamun III, as well as a fragment bearing the cartouche of Amenhotep III. These conflicting data led us for a time to believe that we were about to open a royal cache of the El Arama branch of the 18th dynasty monarchs, and that, from the evidence mentioned above, it had been probably opened and used more than once. 25th of November. After taking pictures of the sealed doorway, Carter broke it down, which revealed another stone-filled descending passageway. This also showed signs of being broken into and refilled with different rubble types, which matched the reseals on the doorway. More small objects and pottery were found in the fill of this passageway, which pointed to a disturbed burial of the late 18th dynasty, but not to whose. These finds Carter noted as disturbing elements as they pointed towards plundering. 26th of November. Clearance of the passageway continued, revealing a 9-meter-long passage ending with another sealed door almost exactly the same as the first, and showed signs again of opening and resealing. The impressions of Tutankhamun were present again, but not as clear as the ones that appeared on the first doorway. The dimensions of this passageway matched another tomb cache found by Davis, so further pointing to a cache rather than a royal tomb. After thoroughly cleaning the passageway, Carter turned to the second sealed doorway. After making some notes, Carter made a small hole into the doorway in the top left corner to see what lay beyond. Darkness, and the iron testing rod told us that there was empty space, perhaps another descending staircase in accordance to the original Royal Theban tomb plan, or maybe a chamber. Candles were procured, the all-important telltale for foul gases, when opening an ancient subterranean excavation. I widened the breach, and by the means of the candle looked in, while Lord Carnarvon and Lady Evelyn and Calendar with the razors waited in anxious anticipation. It was some time before one could see. The hot air escaping caused the candle to flicker, but as soon as one's eyes became accustomed to the glimmer of the light, the interior of the chamber gradually loomed before one, with its strange and wonderful medley of extraordinary and beautiful objects heaped upon one another. There was naturally short suspense for those present who could not see. When Lord Carnarvon said to me, "Can you see anything?" I replied to him, "Yes, it is wonderful." I then with precaution made the hole sufficiently large for both of us to see. With the light of an electric torch, as well as additional candle, we looked in. Our sensations and astonishment are difficult to describe, as the better light revealed to us marvellous collection of treasures. 2 strange ebony black effigies of a king, gold-sandaled, bearing staff and mace, loomed out from the cloak of darkness. Gilded couches in strange forms, lion-headed, heifer-headed, and beast infernal, exquisitely painted, inlaid, and ornamental caskets, flowers, alabaster vases, some beautifully executed of lotus and papyrus device, strange black shrines with a gilded monster snake appearing from within, quite ordinary looking white chests, finely carved chairs, a golden inlaid throne, a heap of large curious white ox-form boxes. Beneath our very eyes, on the threshold, a lovely lotus-form wishing cup in translucent alabaster, stools of all shapes and designs, of both common and rare materials, and lastly a confusion of overturned parts of chariots, glinted with gold, peering from amongst which was a mannequin. After this initial discovery, Carter writes that he resealed the doorway and returned home. And this is where we shall leave this episode for now, with episode 3, examining the first room, coming soon.